Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning, February 11th. And today we're going to be getting into Leviticus 11 and 12. And up till now in Leviticus, it's dealt largely with issues concerning the work and ministry of the Levites. That is the proper sacrifices to offer, the proper way to offer them, and in the ordination of Aaron and his sons in the priestly ministry. And beginning in Leviticus 11, the focus of the reading shifts towards the issue of holiness and cleanness in the camp where God made his dwelling place, and that's a lot of the focal point because the general people really weren't into the area of Holy of Holies, and in order to maintain that the holiness, God was requiring them to basically keep clean, keep the area clean, and because God He can't dwell in a place that isn't holy, and by having things that are unclean, and they already knew, like the animals and that were unclean, with Noah, and the different things that they should eat and what they shouldn't eat, and then we go into chapter 12, and it talks about even keeping clean after having children. And the rituals that need to be done, and to our eyes and our ears, this seems a little bizarre, restrictive, and even oppressive sometimes. But we shouldn't miss the overall point from these stories, because God Himself was living in the midst of the people at the time, and Israel had to maintain a certain threshold of cleanliness to avoid defiling His holiness. But ultimately, even this arrangement, and we'll see as it goes on, it will prove to be unsatisfactory. Israel will eventually fail to keep themselves clean in the presence of God, and God, who can't dwell long term in anything less than holiness, He eventually abandons and judges His people, and this arrangement then is I think is a step toward something greater. The day when God will dwell with His people, in not merely a clean city, but a holy city. And on that day, God will dwell with His people in the New Jerusalem. And there nothing will be unclean, and will forever enter it, and that comes from Revelations 21. But this here, I love reading the different aspects, because we'll hear later in Scripture, going from unclean to things that are permissible to eat, and to be a part of that, which I'm very thankful because I love pork. But anyways, that's what things were going on here, I believe, as far as the Scripture, God just requiring a clean area in order not to defile, the ones who are set apart to be in the holy place. So that, again, there's consequences to everyone's actions, and the conditions that the people were asked to keep, were really the purification of the blood rituals, and making things the holiest that it could be. And again, Aaron and Moses are talking directly to God now, and he's laying out the guidelines, and their job is to just let the people know this is what's expected. And a lot of it was a practical thing too, because of the cleanliness. Even the picking up of rats. They were set aside and even quarantined for like 24 hours after they touched a dead animal. So a lot of these things was just again, practical things that God was saying. Listen, you need to keep things clean. No different than our parents always told us to clean our rooms, and we told our kids to clean their rooms. So there's purpose and reason for that, and for disease, and for just keeping things the best you can. And again, God was dwelling with them. I mean, he was actually in the temple at the time, and living amongst them, so to speak. And he was requiring that people keep things clean, that people keep things holy and set apart. So I think it was a great scripture today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to continue on with our studies, and I hope to see you then. Have a great day.